Hello everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. This video is going to be my first tip on how to improve your credit score. And I'm going to do a series of these, but also if you want to watch the full video where I talk about all of the tips and all of the ideas and how to raise your credit score on your own, I'm going to put an end screen or a link to the main video at the end of this one and also down in the description below. So you know, one tip that is often not talked about, now I know that some people have mentioned it before, but this tip goes overlooked by many, is taking advantage of the credit utilization of your credit cards. So I'll explain what that means. So you have a credit limit. Let's say your credit limit is $5,000, and if your balance is $5,000, then you are utilizing 100% of your credit limit. If your balance is $2,500 and your credit limit is $5,000, then you're utilizing 50%. So when the credit agencies are trying to come up with your credit score, one of the things that they look at is your credit utilization percentage in general as a whole. And so they would prefer that on your credit cards your balance be less than 30% of the limit. So here's where the tip comes in a second. What you could normally do, though, what most people will tell you, is just pay your balances down, get your balances low, and that's great. But not everyone has that kind of money. So the tip is, especially if you're in good standing and you're making on-time payments, call your credit card company and ask them to raise your credit limit. And they might ask you, well, how much do you need? And if you were in a situation where you had a $2,500 balance on a $5,000 limit card, ask to double it. Say, I want to go to $10,000. See what you can get away with. If they raise it, then great. Now all of a sudden your credit utilization is 25%. 2,500 into 10,000. So if they don't go that high and maybe they only go up to 7,500, at least you've done a good job at lowering it a bit without making any payments towards your balance. And even that little bit, even though it's not at below the 30% utilization level, you will have improved your scores a bit. I don't know exactly how much, there's no telling, and I don't know exactly how long it takes for the agencies to report that, for the credit card companies to report that to the agencies, and then for those agencies to then take all that into consideration and adjust your scores. But if you do that with all of your credit cards, maximizing your credit utilization there, then I think you're going to see a nice improvement in your credit scores by doing that. And if you look at it in a different example, maybe you don't have a $5,000 limit and you have a $1,000 limit and you've got $750 on your balance. Any improvement to that, even if you're not in that $5,000 range, if you get your limit increased to $1,500, it will go a long way into improving your credit scores. So that was my tip number one. Hopefully you'll find that to be useful. It's very easy to do. You don't need to pay another company to make the phone calls for you. So go ahead and give that a shot. And even if you don't have a major credit score concern, maybe your credit score is 650 or 660 and it's not in the 500s, if you work on these tips that I'm going to describe to you, you will be able to get credit scores in the 700s as long as you're making on-time payments. So hopefully that helps you. Look for the full video at the end and in the description below, and please come back and subscribe and wait for the next one.